Up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live and the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McCain. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers get the dub. They beat the Cincinnati Reds. They swept the unsweepable team the first time all year. The Reds have been swept, and it was at the hands of a Dodgers team that all of a sudden looks like they've gotten their ish together. The Dodgers have now won 4 straight games. Is their longest winning streak in 8 weeks. They beat the Reds by a final score of 5-1 to improve to 20 games over 500 at 77-57. And taking a look at the standings, the Padres, who are not having the best luck up in Seattle, lose to the Mariners once again. The no-ring series up there in the Pacific Northwest. And now the Dodgers are 2 games up on San Diego in the National League West, but because they own the tiebreaker, you can view that as a 2-game lead. And also importantly, the Dodgers are now up on the Philadelphia Phillies. So one of the big goals for the week was get back into one of the top 2 seeds in the National League West and also get one of the top seeds in the National League. So they're already the top in the National League, which they've done this week. I mean, this weekend, the lose of the Padres, a little mix-up there. You win on Sunday, you got a tiebreak, you're back on top of the National League West. But now, all of a sudden, the Phillies, the score of their game tonight was the Phillies lose 6-0 to the New York Mets on the road. So now the Dodgers are in second in the National League. So it's the Brewers and the Dodgers as the top 2 records in the National League. The Dodgers 6 games back of the Brewers, but now a half game up on the Philadelphia Phillies. They have a 3-game series at Dodger Stadium coming up, and that should be a really entertaining series that will have a lot of implications. That comes up in the middle of September, the 15th through the 17th. So we'll see how things look when that arrives. But things are looking up for your Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers are doing Dodgers things. The bullpen, another great night for them. Shohei Ohtani, his best start, completing 5 innings, getting his first win as a Dodger. It was the first time that Shohei Ohtani was able to get himself into a 9-strikeout game since July 21st, 2023, in a game where he went 6 1/3 innings against the Pirates. And this one, he goes 5 innings. And look, I'm not a big wins and losses guy, and you guys know that. But still, it means something to these players, and it means something to this team to get him through those 5 innings. And he did it on 87 pitches. So there were a lot of career highs for the Dodgers for Shohei Ohtani in this one. If you look at his overall line, Shohei goes 5 innings, gave up 1 run on 2 hits, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks, through 87 pitches, 53 for strikes, did give up 1 run in this one, and that came on a Marte home run to left there in the 3rd inning. It was a cutter that kind of just didn't cut, and he jumped on, he ambushed it, and he crushed it. But outside of that, Shohei Ohtani was working his way around some traffic early on in the game. We're going to break down his full start, but it was a season high for him, 87 pitches, season high for him, 5 innings, season high 9 strikeouts, also had 14 swings and misses, 14 swinging strikes, 9 strikeouts, 5 of those coming on that sweeper. He had 4 on the curveball. I mean, he was absolutely electric in this one, and what he proved tonight is what the Dodgers have been hoping to see from him for his last couple of starts. And I heard people out there, oh, D-Mac, is he even a good pitcher? An ERA north of 4? What'd I say? Look at the expected stuff. Look at some of the other underlying metrics, the FIP. All of those numbers indicated that the results weren't as good as the stuff. And tonight we saw that he is not predictable. And that has been the word that Mark Prior and the Dodgers pitching coaches have been using to what they don't want to see him be, is predictable. In his last start, you saw more sliders, and in this start, you saw more curveballs. So, look, there's a reason why Dodgers Dugout Live is the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube, and the reason is we get incredible guests like the great Jose Mota. And if you checked all over the broadcast, all over X, all over the Japanese social media accounts when they were watching this game, everyone was completely shocked by how much Shohei was using that curveball. Heading into this start, he had thrown 11 curveballs. 11 curveballs. And today, Shohei Ohtani, he was leaning on that curveball. 4 strikeouts for that curveball. It was a very, very important pitch for him in this one. And I think it really proved that he has so many clubs in his bag. He can be so dynamic. And with that curveball in this one, he threw it 23 times. He threw it 26% of his pitches. He had thrown 11 combined curveballs through his first 10 starts. 11 combined curveballs through his first 10 starts. And tonight, he unleashed that curveball, and it was a very, very effective pitch for him. And you love to see that. You love to see him going out there and going with a pitch that we typically don't see that much. But the reason why I said, hey, you got to watch Dodgers Dugout Live is because we get guys like Jose Mota on. And what did Jose Mota say on the show? He said, watch out for that curveball. He said, watch out for that curveball because they had been using it for a long toss. And while everyone was shocked for that curveball usage, Jose Mota, he had us locked in and ready and looking for it. And so, I mean, we got some of the greatest ball knowers in the game, so it's great stuff. But, yeah, I mean, you look at his start tonight, and the kind of things that really, really stand out is it looked like it was going to be very rocky early. 27 pitches in the second inning. He threw 27 pitches in that second inning. He allowed 2 walks. He had 2 wild pitches. But what he proved tonight is why we've been waiting for so many years to see him in the postseason. Is when you've got dominant stuff, when hitters have to respect 100 miles per hour, triple digits, and a nasty sweeper, a nasty curveball, a nasty slider. He threw 7 pitches in the first inning alone. How is that for predictability, right? And what did he do in that inning? We had the 2 walks, he had the 2 wild pitches. He struck out the side. He struck out the side. So when you have that ability to just buckle down and say to yourself, okay, we are going to absolutely dig in and we're going to rely on pure stuff, that is the big stuff that plays up in a massive way. He got Hayes swinging, 4-seam fastball up in the zone, 100 miles per hour. He got McClain swinging, curveball down in the zone. So imagine that. Look at those at-bats. I mean, going 100 miles per hour and then dropping it down to 81 on a nasty curveball. That, folks, that Dodgers Nation, that, ladies and gentlemen, is freaking unhittable. And then after that, he was cruising. I mean, he gave up the 1 home run to Marte, but outside of that, top of the 4th, 1-2-3 inning, punched out Gavin Lux on a nasty curveball. Top of the 5th inning goes 1-2-3. He locked in and he was cruising. And I'll said it before, I'll say it again. My game 1 starter is Shohei Ohtani. He topped out at 100.3 miles per hour. He threw 100 miles per hour on 4 of those 87 pitches. When he needs straight gas, he can go get there. Straight up heat. And that is the guy that is also going to win the MVP because he's the best hitter in the National League. It was a unicorn night at Dodger Stadium, and we're going to hear from Shohei Ohtani. He spoke to reporters after the game.
Extra celebration in the clubhouse, Shohei, after your first win as a pitcher?
クラブハウスで2つの追い合いはありました。で、いつも通りの、追い合いをして、明日オフなので、みんなも早く帰って休みましょう。And normal celebration, nothing special. Tomorrow's an off day, so I think we're just going to enjoy that tomorrow.
It looked like you had a pretty different pitch mix tonight, just using more of your secondary stuff. What led to that?
九州の使い方特に形が多くなりましたけども、何か理由はもともと決めてたので、打線の反応がどうのこうのというよりは今日はもうカットスプリット多めに投げて決めてる。The goal going into this game was to throw more curveball and splits regardless of the lineup, so that was my intent going into this game.
Is that something you think can kind of help you as you're pitching deeper into games and facing batters a second and third time through, just being able to vary your looks a little bit more?
回数増やすことによって球種の割合も変えるっていうのは一つの戦略ですかね。そうですね、それもありますし、どちらかというともう今はどちらかというと自分の状態を上げていくっていう、イニングを伸ばすのもそうですけど、リハビリ登板の段階からこう少しずつ球種も増やしていった中で、今日はカーブとスプリットをしっかりと投げ切るっていうのは、一つ自分の中の課題として相手がどうなってもっていうのは課題を持ってはいきました。As we were just progressing through this, just rehab in general, just aside from the innings, wanted to just really be able to incorporate other pitches. So that was really the intent going in.
For those pitches that are just taking longer to get a good feel for after surgery, or those ones that you've intentionally kind of waited until this stage of your progression to start implementing a little bit more?
意図的に待ったのか、それとも感覚的にまだちょっとしっくりこなかった部分があったのか。リハビリの段階としてはまず第一はまっすぐパスボールをしっかり、いい球速で投げ切るっていうところが一番じゃないかなと思ってはいますし、そういうふうなコミュニケーション、ドクターとのコミュニケーションの中で、やってきて、カーブとスプリットっていうのは一番最後の段階なので、これがしっかり投げ切れれば、自分の中でフルでいけるんじゃないかなっていう自信がしっかり持てるのかなと思います。And with the doctor consultation, the number one goal is to make sure that my fastball and my velocity was both, where I wanted to be. So the curveball and split was less of a priority going into this, part of the rehab process. So that was my process.
Shohei, how important is it for you to make an impact for this team as a pitcher in the division race and possibly into the postseason?
ピッチャーとしての活躍、レギュラーシーズン、ポストシーズンに向けてのその活躍っていうのはどのぐらい大事になりますか？今現時点では先発ピッチャーも整っていると思いますし、ブルペンもしっかり充実している状態だと思うので、自分の役割としては与えられたイニングをしっかりとまず投げ切って、勝てる確率を少しでも上げることと、ブルペンというかなんていうんですかね、少しずつでもこうイニングを増やすことで、そういったブルペンもそうですし、負担というのを少しでも減らしたいなと思います。Just looking at our roster, I really like where we're at in terms of our starting pitchers and bullpen. I just want to make sure that I do my part as a starting pitcher to make sure that I go deeper into the game to help out the our bullpen guys.
Shohei, speaking of the starting pitchers on your team, Clayton Kershaw going into 18 years, what do you see when you watch him that maybe helps you?
カーション18年間キャリア見て登板見ることがあると思いますけども、何か成功する鍵とかありますか？そうです、登板日はね、集中しているところを見ると、この集中力を長い年月続けていくっていうのはそれだけでも大変なことだと思いますし、その中で素晴らしい成績を残していくっていうのは、それはもう尊敬に値するところではあるので、本当毎日が見てて勉強になるところばかりだと思います。I really learn a lot, especially on the days he started, on how focused he is, and really shows how successful he is and how important it is for him to prepare. So I'm very impressed and look up to Kershaw for not just his career, but the process of how he prepares for each game.
Last one, guys.
David said that he doesn't see you pitching more than 5 innings and outings before the end of the regular season. So that's something that you sort of feel like will be the case as well, as that sort of feel like the end of your rehab progress at this point?
5イニングっていうのがまだ後としてはそこまでそれ以上に多分投げるのはそこまでないのかなとは思っておりましたけども、翔平のではどう思いますか？ 今日に関してはちょっと球数もかさんでるので、5回投げ切れるかどうかギリギリなところでしたし、これからのことはまた5イニング今日投げ切ったので、増やすのかどうなのかっていうのは、監督もそうですし、フロントとも話して、ドクターとも話して決めないといけないことかなと思ってます。
What do you think of Sonami's first pitch?
So the fact that I was able to reach 5 innings was really key in terms of moving forward. I think moving forward, it's going to be a collaboration between the doctors, front office, and Dave Roberts in terms of how we want to really proceed with if we're going to throw more than 5.
Thanks, Will. Couple questions.
So there was Shohei Ohtani after his first win as a Dodger, 9 strikeouts for Shohei and a bounce-back performance. He had a couple rocky starts. He had given up in his last 2 outings 9 earned runs in his last 8 1/3 innings. And Dave Roberts talked about it before the game today that he's still trying to get his sea legs. He's still trying to find himself. Let's not forget, this is a guy that has not pitched in 2 years. I think he found himself. I think that Shohei Ohtani found himself today against the Cincinnati Reds. He found the curveball that Jose Mota talked about. He also realizes that, hey, that fastball command and that velocity is a way to set up those secondary pitches and that you can lean on them. And when you got a pitcher that's a power pitcher that has that ability but also has nasty secondary stuffs, that's when you get an elite guy. That's when you get a guy that's a game 1 starter, a Cy Young caliber guy that can mix, and he showed that, and that's why I think he proved a lot to himself. Someone like even like Shohei Ohtani, right? The unicorn, the best player on the planet. Even someone like him needs a boost of confidence, needs to see himself do it after the surgery. And tonight, he saw himself do it at the highest level against a good team with a solid offense that never been swept all season, that's in the postseason mix. Let's not act like they played the Savannah Bananas tonight. Let's not act like they played the Houston Astros when they weren't cheating. I see the Altuve fan. Is that Jose Labubu Altuve down below in the chat? Huh? Jeez. I mean, come on now. We really should. How do you get a laptop? I'm going to take that laptop and put it on top of the refrigerator so he can't get it. Okay, so relax, Jose Altuve in the chat. But thanks for getting those live numbers up. But yeah, I do think moving forward that they want Shohei to be that guy on the mound, but they still need him to prove it. They're not just going to give him that role because he's Shohei Ohtani. I don't think Shohei Ohtani would want that role to be a prominent starter for this team in October if he didn't think he could do it. I think tonight it was evident for the very first time, even though he had shown flashes, that he can do game 1, that he can do deciding game, that he can be a guy that you can trust in a massive spot with the ball because of how good his stuff is. So a very, very encouraging night for Shohei Ohtani. If you want to celebrate,